That's a big-time win for the Tennessee Titans in Week 4 of the NFL. If you are hyped about that win over Indy, show it by subscribing. It is backed by science and data and everything else in between that when you subscribed, Tennessee is more likely to win games like this one in Week 4. Hit that big red button and subscribe for free Titans videos all season long. The final in this one, as I'm sure most of you know, Tennessee on the road, a massive critical win over the Indianapolis Colts, 24-17. It was the ground game that reemerged for Tennessee, and they stopped the ground game of Indy. Jonathan Taylor ruining fantasy teams everywhere. 20 carries, 42 yards, and a fumble. A hats off. Round of applause to Tennessee. We'll break down some takeaways and some positives. But first, injury news and notes. Treylon Burks, the rookie wide receiver who had 2 catches for 14 yards on 3 targets, was carted off the field with a foot injury. He was seen leaving the locker room in a boot and on crutches. Very troubling injury news for Treylon Burks. We will see what his long-term status is. Knowing Mike Vrabel doesn't like sharing information, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, but it's a noteworthy injury. We'll find out soon, I'm sure. In the meantime, what is your panic level over this Treylon Burks injury? Scale it for me, 1 to 100. 1 on the low end, 100 on the high end. Sound off for me in the comment section. I don't say anymore, man. The injuries on the defense continue. Bud Dupree, who did play, apparently re-injured that hip injury in the first half. He left that game. Bud Dupree had a fumble recovery. Looking at my stat sheet here, he had just the 1 tackle plus the fumble recovery. Hopefully Dupree is okay. This team is decimated by injuries. A big-time red flag there. No Harold Landry. Now Bud Dupree is banged up. Fingers crossed on that one. Some more positive takeaways coming up here in a minute. But Tennessee, with all 24 points coming in the first quarter, and really, it should have been 27 had you not kind of blown that halftime end of half scenario. Grade the Titans for me. A, B, C, D, or F. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, it's perfect timing. Take advantage of it. Head down there, grade Tennessee. A, B, C, D, or F. Some takeaways from this game. Your D-line. As injured, as banged up, as decimated and depleted as they are, did their job and then some. The Colts, a run-first team. Jonathan Taylor, the number 1 pick in almost every fantasy league. 20 carries, 42 yards. I know the Colts O-line is banged up. Awesome performance. Danico Autry, 2 sacks. A TFL, by the way, as Matt Ryan was sacked 3 times in total. Autry's getting some hybrid, 3-4 defensive end, 4-3 defensive end reps with all those injuries up front. He was awesome. A sack, a TFL. Rashad Weaver with no Bud Dupree, no Harold Landry. He had a sack, 2 quarterback hits as well. Autry had 3. Those 2 guys combined for all 5 QB hits in this one. The Colts have made a big deal about, we're going to run the football. Jonathan Taylor, the number 1 pick in every fantasy league. 20 carries, 42 yards. A long of 11, a 2.1 average. He caught 1 pass for 1 yards. If I had told you JT gets 21 carries in a football game, or 21 touches, you would have said, he had 100 yards, 80 yards. He had half that, 42. Hats off to your Titans front. Now, if you bet on Tennessee to win, congratulations as well. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. $100 down is going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. You got to put down at least $100 though. It's 125 at chatsports.com/bet. My parlay of the bet this week, in danger of the Panthers ruining it. Disappointing there. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. Takeaway number 2. King Henry's back, folks. There it is. No DeForest Buckner in this game, but Derrick Henry absolutely emerged in this one. A very impressive performance. 22 carries, 114 yards, 5.2 yards per carry in this one for Derrick Henry. He also chipped in 33 catches for 33 yards. That's 25 touches in total for King Henry. Doing some quick math here, 147 yards in total, plus the score. 5.2 yards per carry. In general, when you average 5.2 yards per carry and your opponent on almost identical carries averages 2.1, you're going to win the football game. So I think Derrick Henry, among your other offensive linemen, defensive linemen, deserves the game ball. Ryan Tannehill, by the way, quick aside, 17 of 21, 137, 2 scores. Game manager, did his job. Who do you think gets the game ball for Tennessee? Sound off for me in the comments section. How about the Titans tight end usage? Is this the Chigoziem Okonkwo breakout game? Nothing for Jeff Swaim. Austin Hooper, 1 catch, 4 yards. Chigoziem Okonkwo, 3 for 38, a long of 23, and a score. The Delanie Walker style tight end caught every single target his way. I wonder if this is the breakout game at long last for Okonkwo. Also, Robert Woods, 4 for 30 and a TD, did his job there. Hassan Haskins, apparently your new kick returner. He had in total 4 for 105. But Okonkwo, I wonder if that was the breakout game. My final thoughts here. I cannot underestimate how impactful, how critical, how massive this win was for Tennessee. You drop this game, you're 1-3. The Jags lose today against the Jags, and Tennessee, like that, with a crazy win over the Raiders and a massive division win over Indy, is right back in the mix in the AFC South. That was the game Tennessee needed to win. Whether we wanted to admit it or not, that was a must-win game on the road, and they got it. Hats off to Mike Vrabel. Hats off to Tennessee. That win could be the difference when we get to December, to January, in whether or not this team makes the postseason. All in the first half, your points, by the way. That is the end of today's video. If you are a real one, show me you are in the comments section. Spam real one down below. Tennessee 24, Colts 17. A massive win on the road for your Titans.